guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I am going to be doing a makeup tutorial, my everyday makeup, which is pretty much this. And when I say everyday, I don't mean like every day, I just mean days where I'm going out somewhere nice and I want to look nice and I just want like a day nice makeup. This is usually what I do. So I'm just going to strip it all off and start again. No, I'm joking. I am just going to cut to the beginning of this video when I had no makeup on. So let's go. Okay, so I am completely barefaced and I'm going to start with, I don't really prime my skin, but recently I've started using this Vitamin E Aqua Boost Sorbet from the Body Shop, and I kind of use it after my moisturiser. It's like a almost velvety, powdery consistency, and I just sort of dab it on my nose and on my forehead and any places that develop shine, because I just find it sort of does the same job as priming but without like clogging up the skin or anything. So I'm just going to dab that there as a primer-ish. What am I doing? I just like to prime just the areas that need priming. So consider that done. So foundation-wise, I was using Chanel Vita Lumiere in shade 40 during the summer, and that ran out. So I thought I might go back to that. So I went in to buy that from Boots last week, and then I couldn't decide between shade 20 or 30. It's really hard to tell. So the lady gave me two little samples, 20 and 30. So I think I'm going to go in with some 20, and I'm going to use the Zoeva brush in number 104, Buffer, to just buff all over my face, really. On goes the foundation. And I really like how sheer it is because I have got freckles. So in the summer I really try to use a really sheer foundation. But I still like them to show through a little bit in the winter if they're still there. And at the moment they're kind of still there. But yeah, I go all the way down. I go over my ears just to keep them matching. No one likes a pink ear, do they? So I go all down my ear, under my chin, down my neck. God, I'm making myself a bit red, aren't I? I'm going a bit vigorously. But you get the idea. I cover completely. I think that's enough. I'm just going to pop a little bit of Carmex on my lips, just because I usually do after I've done my foundation, because they always go really foundation-y and powdery and ugh. So next up is concealer, and at the moment I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me in shade 20. Now I normally use this in shade 10, and I actually prefer shade 10, but I don't think they had it last time I went to get it, so I went for shade 20 because there's not a lot in it. They're both still quite pale and they're both yellowy. But I literally am just going to go under the eye, kind of like so, and then on the other side. God, that's a lot of concealer, isn't it? And then I'm going to use this concealer buffer from Zoeva in number 142 to literally just buff in my concealer, really. For blemishes, concealer wise, I use this Nip and Fab one, or I have been recently. It's quite a new thing, but I really am getting on with it because it's great for spots and like around my nose. I get quite a lot of redness around my nose, and it's got like a little brush, so you just sort of, I put it on the back of my hand like that, and then I just go around my nose like that, and then I've got some spots at the side of my mouth here, which are really annoying me. But it's good. It's a good concealer in the fact that it really sets and lasts, which is really what you want in a concealer, isn't it? Oh, and I've got a little spot there as well. There's still a bit of this concealer for up there. Don't know where that one came from. I don't normally get spots in my eyebrows. Time for bronzer, and I'm going to use this Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel because it's just a really nice natural everyday one. And I'm going to use the Luxe Sheer Cheek by Zoeva in number 127. I kind of go like under my cheekbones like that. And I just like how natural it is. And then I'll go up into my hairline as well. Hold my hair back. I go all the way around the top of my hairline. Bit on top of my nose, just to make me look like I've got a bit of a tan. Am I doing too much? It's hard to tell if I'm overdoing it. I could just keep going, I think I'll stop there. And then the other bronzer I use is the Diego Della Palma bronzer, and that is in shade 94. Annoyingly, the lid's sort of broken off, so that's a bit frustrating. But that's a really, really dark bronzer, and again, sometimes I just use it as like an extra like contour if I want a bit more definition. So I sort of really get into under the cheekbones and then a little dab around the edges of my nose. Very, very little bit. And then I'll use, so I'm using this Bobbi Brown brush, which is so old and battered, but for some reason I feel like it really knows the shapes of my face. I feel like it's learnt my face over the years and I just can't seem to replace it. I really like the way it's kind of like a weird shape, so it sort of goes into my lids. With the bronzer I'll sort of just go in at an angle, just so it gets my crease of my eye, and gives me like a little bit of eyeshadow but not really, if that makes sense. So yeah, that is my bronzing routine. Maybe a little OTT. So now I've done all of that, I'm just going to set it, and I am going to use this NARS powder, light reflecting setting powder, loose, translucent crystal. And I'm just going to use the little bit of excess that's in the lid and swirl it around with this big brush, number 106 powder brush. And I really hate powder. I hate the way it looks cakey, so I will just use it as light as possible under the eyes just to avoid any creasing, and then round the nose. My chin is like the oiliest place ever. So now I'm going to go in with some highlighter, and I am using this one from Topshop, which is like one of the little glow pots, and it is in the colour Gleam. It's like a real kind of bronzy goldy colour, and I'm using this MAC stippling brush in number 130, and I'm just going to stipple it in, get a little bit out on the back of my hand, just a really, really small amount, and then just pat it around my cheekbones. So I don't know if that's picking up on camera, but in real life it's got a nice glow to it. Nice gleamy glow, but just a natural day one. It's not like over the top. Like if I was going out in the evening, I'd be using Iconic drops because they're like really highlighting, but during the day I just think that one's lovely. And then I'm just going to set that highlighter and give it a little bit more of a pop with this Laura Mercier powder. It's Matte Radiance Baked Powder in highlight number 1, and it's quite subtle again, but it will just set that glow off. Make sure it doesn't move. And for that I'm using the Zoeva brush in number 109, Luxe Face Paint brush. Goodness only knows why it's called a face paint brush, but apparently it is. I suppose I am painting my face really, aren't I? So for my brows I am using Benefit's Browsings, and I mostly use just the wax because it gives like a really defined look, but I'm just dipping in the wax first and then just blotting it into the powder. And then where the patch is underneath this bit here that's like really scarce, I sort of just get this angled brush, the sharp angled one. Can't actually talk while I'm doing it, but I go fill in that little patch there. Can you see the difference that tiny little bit makes on my brows? It just makes them bigger straight away. And then I'll sort of bring them out at the edge to about there. I don't tend to do anything at the top or even at there really. So for some reason my camera just decided to turn itself off again. Don't know why, but she's back on and we're still on brows. And I'm just going to sort of set them and give them a little comb through with this Benefit Gimme Brow Volumizing Fibre Gel, and it's just got a really, really tiny brush, and I just use it to kind of just comb them up and give them a little bit more colour. I'm not sure what colour one this is, but I will link it below, but it's quite a dark brown. It's darker than my own eyebrows, but I quite like that just for giving them a little bit of colour. I know they probably look huge now on my face, but I really didn't add that much to them. I literally just went underneath, and I think until you've got like eyes on, you can't really tell. So I'm going to go in next with mascara. For mascara, I am using this Marc Jacobs one. I love it. It's so black. Like literally, if I just stroke it on the lashes like that, you can see how black it is straight away. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm a sucker for a mascara. So I really go to town with my mascara. And not only that, but I tend to get it all over my eyelid. So what I will probably do is stick this on like a fast forward or something. Also, I am aware that I have got it all over my eyelids. I will get that, I'll get rid of that in a minute. I'm just going to wait for it to dry first. And now I'm just going to do my bottom lashes. I know a lot of people like to leave their bottom lashes and like that look, but I prefer to have mascara on all lashes available. So on my bottom lashes, I'm actually using the Max Factor Fusion mascara, and simply because that Marc Jacobs one is really new and so thick and heavy that for my bottom lashes it can be a bit too much where it's quite thick. So this one comes with like a little plastic wand, and it's a little bit easier, even though it's a really big wand, it's a little bit easier to just, I'm going to pull the weirdest faces now. But yeah, even though it's a really thick, big wand, it's just comby, so it's easier to sort of comb through them and get like a bit more of a lighter look. While I'm waiting for my mascara to dry, and then I'll clean it up, I'm going to go and do my lips with the Estee Lauder Double Wear Lip Liner in shade Spice. And I do like to overline my lips as well. But only slightly, otherwise it can start to look a bit weird, can't it? I'm loving this lip liner at the moment because it really glides on, but because it's a double wear one, it really sticks and stays in place. Today I thought I would go in with, get hairs everywhere. Today I thought I'd go in with this YSL, I think it's called Matte Lip Stain. Matte Lip Stain, I'm sure it is. And it's in the shade number 7, and it's just like a lovely pinky nude. And the little applicator means you can get a really neat line. And then that sort of sets, it dries, but not in like a matte liquid lipstick way where it kind of dries and sets. It's quite a thin consistency, so it dries and then almost like tints them and really stays put. So that's why I'm loving this one at the moment. And I love like the pinky tones of it. It's a nude but with like a really beautiful pink tone to it. So yeah, really like that one at the moment. So now my lips are done, I am just going to go in with like a dry, clean cotton bud, and any mascara that's on my lids just magically flakes away. There's no need to use like micellar water or anything wet. I find that the best way to get rid of it is just with a dry cotton bud. Just remember that I have missed out blusher, and that's probably because I don't always wear blusher, but for the sake of this video I am going to pop a little bit on. And this is the Chanel powder blush in number 15 Orchid Rose, and it's just a real pale pink shimmery blush, like a dusky pink with a hint of a shimmer to it. And I'm just going to use the little blush brush that it comes with, blush brush, and just dab it onto the balls of my cheeks, just a really tiny bit, just to add a little bit of healthiness. And just to make sure, I'm just going to go with a little bit more NARS powder because I feel like I didn't really do enough. There's like a tiny bit in the lid, so I'm just going to use the brush to just give it one more set so that everything stays in place. Just realised I forgot to put on this eyeliner, and it is the Rimmel eyeliner in shade Nude, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this with one hand because I'd normally just like pull my eyelid down. but I just put that in the waterline of my eyes, and I feel like it just makes my eyes a little bit poppier, a little bit bigger. So yeah, didn't want to forget that one, and that's a Rimmel one. It's an absolute bargain. I think it's about £2.99 or £3.99, so I love that. I've gone through a lot of those in my time. So yeah, that is my everyday makeup look. Ta-da! Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below if you did. Any questions, then feel free to ask. I am now surrounded by makeup, even though I didn't actually use that many products. I don't feel like it, but I just was grabbing stuff from everywhere. I didn't really know what I'd need and what I wouldn't need, but we're all good. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye! So I just wanted to add a little update to the end of this video, just to show what the makeup looks like in natural light, because it was slightly dark over there. But yeah, this is the natural everyday makeup in natural light. And you can just see sort of the highlight a little bit more over here, and the lip colour a little bit more as well. So yeah, that is my everyday makeup in everyday light, and thank you for watching again. Bye!